Mpanimfoɔ se dimpa ɛyɛ sene ahonya. Ebusa His Excellency the President, the first gentleman of the land, His Excellency John Mahama. Ɔyɛ nneɛma bi a in fact sɛdeɛ Mahama si tutu ne nneɛma no. Sɛ nneɛma tɔ ɛkɔtɔ ɔten saa ahwɛ a ɛbɛyɛ dene paa sɛ NDC ɛbɛgo position for sure. Ahwɛ ɛbɛyɛ dene. How Mahama si start to turn nneɛma no deɛ, because how was start na mamuo no. I said, dear Ghana for Airshare, and His Excellency Astate. Abusia and Mahama Eddie and Sembi Atuja Eddie Amani new appointees or Tremua by 31st March. Wow, won't me for our Wajapadia or ever 2 January or Befire. Now, Mahama so I declare asset. I hire Penyah Block Media Messenger. Say over like if you do not download my over subscribe button, so click the notification icon. Now back to the wide area mama ever comment section. But more than let's share video ma wuni aso enye binhwe. Also ye kwto aba na Mahama na samba akunyi na ye accountability. Just accountable. Opese obey president a obe hold accountability to its highest esteem. Obe prioritize accountability over corruption. Ebusia na Mahama hold press conference. Now press conference no hold or declare assets. That I say, Mahama declare as just ordinary Japadi Ahodua or Etuja Emma Ghana for Ehu. The Japadi Ahodua or Muafu ha, Mufewa ha, Muewa ha, Muwe, what Japadi Atuja.
All right, thank you very much. We've also been joined by Dr. Callistus Mahama, Secretary to the President, and Mrs. Joyce Bawamutari, Senior Presidential Advisor and Special Aide to His Excellency the President. At this stage, I will call on the Auditor General to receive the completed forms from His Excellency the President. Photographers. Thank you very much, Mr. President and Mr. Auditor General. And I have the singular.
And our day or Shansem to the newly appointed ministers, and I say, Obi Biala, Waman Juma, as Omeye under this 9th government. No, Mahama Eddie or Shansem Emu Munina say, let us by 31st March. Wow, when Timian for Japadia Winina, I'm a 2 January or Befire or Tinefi.
Honor of inviting His Excellency the President to make a few remarks on why this ceremony is taking place. Thank you.
I was just looking at the statute on Assets Declaration, and under Article 286 of the 1992 Constitution, it names the President, the Vice President, Ministers and Deputy Ministers, Members of Parliament, and Judges. And then again under Act 550, Public Office Holders Declaration of Assets, it includes public officers, including those in the civil service, public corporations, and statutory boards. Then it also includes chief executives of all public corporations. It includes district chief executives, and then members of the Council of State. There are many people in public office who do not know that they are covered under this assets declaration regime. And so, Auditor General, there must be a reminder to all these people that they are covered under the assets declaration regime. And so I have presented mine this morning, and let me make a few remarks. Senior government officials present, the Auditor General, and staff of your department. We're very happy to have you here this morning at the presidency. Friends of the media, I've just performed a simple but brief, very important act of presenting my completed assets declaration forms to the Auditor General as required by Article 286 of the 1992 Constitution and the Public Office Holders Declaration of Assets and Disqualifications Act 1998, Act 550. Ghana's assets declaration regime and its related activities have often been shrouded in secrecy, and only unless in special circumstances compliance is often difficult to measure. In times past, I would privately have presented these forms to the Auditor General in fulfillment of my statutory obligation. I've taken this step of presenting these forms publicly as a way of injecting some openness and transparency into the process of assets declaration. I've always maintained that while it is all well and good to punish corruption, a more effective way of addressing the canker is preventing it from occurring in the first place. I honestly believe that if properly curated and enforced, the assets declaration process can become a sustainable tool for tackling corruption. Corruption by nature is insidious and thrives under the cover of darkness. The more light that is shone on it, the more likely that it will be fought successfully. I've also taken this step to send an unmistakable signal to all public office holders, especially those that I have appointed, that I take the declaration of assets very seriously and expect full compliance from them. I've asked the Chief of Staff to send word to all appointees to ensure that they declare their assets by the end of the first quarter of this year, that is by 31st March 2025. I wish to stress that any appointee failing to meet this deadline would face severe sanctions, not excluding removal from office. Even as we strive to hold past government officials accountable for their stewardship, I deem it even more imperative to enforce anti-corruption among our present public office holders. Charity, they say, begins at home. I'm therefore determined to take the necessary steps to ensure that we fight corruption vigorously so that the precious little resources that have been entrusted to us by the Ghanaian people are used only in their interest. There have been issues raised about the effectiveness of the current assets declaration regime. We must take advantage of the current constitution review process to strengthen the assets declaration regime to make it more relevant to changing times. I believe that we must move to a regime where the assets so declared can be published before and after public office, so that the phenomenon of unexplained and overnight wealth obviously earned through the proceeds of corruption can be checked. I trust that a healthy debate can be had over this issue and consensus built on the way forward, so that collectively we can defeat the unwholesome canker of corruption. I thank you for your kind attention. Thank you.
It was how Mahama said, I started a memo. In fact, manager home pa. I really like it. I really like it. And so what was sa? I think say ebeboa. Forget it. So MPP ni CPP no. This governance is what every Ghanaian was expecting. Government of accountability. What I say? Government of transparency, fair and accountability. This is really nice. But I say, nice because reduce corruption. Also, penny for better kunyaswa. Ye nim yapada hodo mu. Eto ba ya beso atati yapada kese okwa na mu msika dada. Enti no. Udwe eba, I think said this initiative of His Excellency John Mahama no. Ebeboa. To put more effort. Nana memu mo to tune me. I think say ebeboa ma MPP NDC betima retain seat no. Maybe who knows 2028. Who bet much the wide in ever comment how Mahama said as a tina memu no. How do you also see it? Who bet me to attend to the about comment section. I Penyah Media.